Hi, everybody. This is Nikki, and I just wanted to say a few things first before we hear about Marilyn's story. Um, if you want to comment or ask questions, there is a link. You just have to go to the StreamYard page, put in your name, and then we'll be able to see that you've made a comment or you've asked a question. Otherwise, you can still comment. We just won't know who you are. So, so I decided this past winter I was um, down in the dumps. I had some stuff happen, and I was just feeling sorry for myself, and I couldn't seem to get over it. And until just recently, I felt like maybe the past few weeks. So I decided that I needed to focus my attention on some positive things instead of focusing on, um, being sad and depressed and feeling sorry for myself, the woe is me. So I decided that I was going to interview some people, and so my this is my mom, Marilyn Asher, and she is going to tell us about herself, and then we're going to ask some questions. She has been a single parent, almost her entire adult life, and she's um, raised five kids, and she's went on to get her degree, and then she's also raised my nephew who is special needs. Um, so I just feel like she's probably got some good insight that we all could use. And I know if she can do it, anybody can do it. So, so Mom, tell us about kind of your background, about Grandma and Grandpa and how many siblings you have. And
I have four sisters and a brother. My dad was from Kentucky. He didn't go to school. My mom quit when she was in the 10th grade. Um, my dad just barely knew how to write his name. He didn't, I don't think he could read very well, but he could do math in his head like nobody's business.
mm-hmm.
You know, mom was the glue that held us all together. Um, let's see, I had, like I said, I had four sisters and I had a brother. And I,
So, so growing up, you grew up in the 60s.
yeah,
And so did you graduate high school?
um, I got pregnant with you in my junior year. And back then, they wouldn't let you go to school when you was pregnant. So I got pregnant, and then I finished my junior year, and then about 10 years later, I went back and got my diploma,
Hmm.
my
Yeah.
G.
Yeah, I remember when that happened because you had to go at night
Yeah,
to do that. So, um, so you got your, so you got pregnant in the early 70s.
yeah.
Shame on you.
I,
So what was that like? I mean, what did Grandma and Grandpa say? I mean, were they, did they yell at you? Were you in trouble? I
yeah,
mean, I know they didn't ship you off like
no,
some people did.
they when they found out that I was pregnant, which was probably during the summer, um, they me and your dad had to get married, and so we got married, and my dad always blamed my mom. That is her fault. And and I finally told him, I said, Dad, I said, I hate to tell you this. I said, but mom wasn't around when I got pregnant, so it's not her fault. But then we got married. I had just turned 17, I think, and I had you in January. So and then,
Yeah.
but we hadn't been married very long. So and then he decided that he would join the service. He joined the Air Force,
Yeah.
and he was stationed after boot camp. He was stationed in Texas. So we went. I moved to Texas. We until all his schooling was done. Then he got stationed in Ohio at
Uh-huh.
the Air Force Base over there.
Right.
And then
So so and then the rest is history, right? So then you had four more kids.
yeah, yeah, we did. And I
They
went
shouldn't
for the
they
world.
should have named you Myrtle. Fertile Myrtle.
I felt like, yeah, that's true.
So what would you, so I know a lot. I mean I remember growing up and when you were single. I remember that. But what what were some of what was the easiest, was there anything easy about it, or what was the most rewarding part about that? I mean, that you can remember?
The easy part was that you were all mine. I mean, and I didn't have to fight over anybody else trying to make me do something that I didn't think was right for you for my kids.
Uh-huh.
Because
Right.
your dad was non-existent uh, for a lot of years. Um,
Yeah.
um, and what was the other question? I already forgot.
most re- well, I said the most rewarding part of that, just raising all of us on your own. So, um,
I knew that eventually you guys would, you would grow up and move away, but and that's not rewarding. That's just I hated the thought of you guys moving away.
we could all come back home, Mom, if you want.
Come on, we'll buy a big old house.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to be back home with my mom.
That's okay.
So, what would you say is the most difficult part of being a single mom, raising all of us? This would be the 80s and the 90s, you know.
Um, Making sure that you had what you needed, you know, um, and making sure that you were safe.
Yeah,
Um, that was probably the hardest part,
yeah,
making sure that you
right.
were safe. Um, Back then, though, I mean, it's not like it is now. Now you can't even throw a ball outside without, it getting hurt. Much
Hmm.
child
Yeah,
with,
we did play outside a lot, so.
and we didn't have the technology that there is now, so I didn't have to worry about, you getting on a computer and, some Pedialyte or pedophile coming in and getting you, uh, or anything like that. Pedialyte. So anyway, um, so that was probably the most scariest.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
what happened, Nick? Well, Nick, guess she had to take a break. You take a
that's
break.
what happens when I touch buttons.
Well, don't touch buttons, sis.
Hold on, there's, oh, okay, never mind. Okay, so we all grow up.
Yeah, you all move away.
We all moved away. And so what made you want to go into early childhood?
To tell you the truth, I was kind of coerced. I had went from a job, being a cashier, supervisor at a truck stop, and I worked third, and I wanted to get off of third because I was going bonkers. Um,
Yeah.
and at the time, I had just switched over to um, taking care of my mom, moving in with my mom to help take care of her,
Yeah.
and and he wouldn't put me on first. The manager wouldn't, so I put
Mhm.
my 2 weeks notice in, and I took a job at a daycare thinking it was just a transition job, and
Well, it was. You transitioned into a teacher.
it did correct. Um, and then and the director of the daycare asked me. She said, "Do you want to go back to school and take some classes for childcare?" And I said, "No, I don't. I don't really want to." And I had left on for a break for my lunch, and I
Mhm.
and to check on mom, and I thought, well, it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt at all.
So I started taking childcare classes, and like I said, it I turned into a teacher, a preschool teacher, and um, and I've been doing that for hmm, 27 years, 28 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say because you started doing it right before Caitlin and I mean Oliver and Sam were born.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
but
this is my last year. I'm retiring. I want to put my kid toys away. This
I doubt that would happen.
We'll see.
So, being a preschool teacher, so what are some things that you learned from that you wish you had known when you were, raising us?
Oh,
Like, what are some things that, you
that
thought might have been helpful?
that
So,
every kid learns differently.
mhm,
That littles learn a lot through play. Not just their social skills, but they learn math by playing Legos. They,
mhm,
you know, in blocks they learn math. Reading. If you read to a child 15 minutes for every day of their life, you know they they learn thousands and thousands of words
mhm.
that will help them later on in life.
Right. I agree with that.
Um, and that hug your kid, tell them you love
Mhm.
'em. Just
Yeah.
don't yell at them. Put your phone down and
I
talk.
wish you did learn that one. Don't yell at it.
I
Yell
know,
at him.
I know. Oh, I know. Connie asked me all the time. She said, "Why are you so loud?" And I said, "I got 5 kids."
It
I
was
said,
never quiet at our house.
"I said I gotta be loud." I said, "Otherwise they won't hear me." I
That's okay, Mom, because I yelled at my kids too. So,
know. Everybody, I mean, everybody does. I was talking to one parent one time at daycare, and when I worked at the daycare, and she was always so sweet and so soft spoken. And one of her kids come in, and it was a little girl, and she was so upset. And I asked her, I said, "What's wrong?" And she said, "My mom yelled at me." And I
uh,
said, "Are you sure?" Because I couldn't believe it. And I talked to her mom when she picked her back up, and I said, such and such came, said that you yelled at her. She said, "Yes, Miss Marilyn, I do yell." And I said, "I don't believe it." I've never, but
Show me. Show me how you yell. I want to
yeah,
hear this.
but it's know, I have forgotten more. I forget a lot of the schooling, and I'll read an article and I'm thinking, oh, I remember that. I,
Yeah,
you know, and but I know there's a nowadays some of the kids that you work with, when they come to school, they're in a fight or flight mode because of their home life, and
yeah,
you never know what has happened that morning.
right.
And a lot of times, they serve breakfast every day now, and
Uh-huh.
they serve lunch, and now this year they have, well, it started last March. They started sending suppers home, so that
To
kids
make sure
or
that they had food.
yeah, that they have food.
Yeah.
So I know over the summer, you know, the bus would pull up in front of the house, and they would come to the door and bring Dougie his lunch for his breakfast and his lunch. And and they didn't have to do that because they're usually just stopped at the corner, and whoever needed it, and they would just walk up and get it. But they knew that Doug was special needs, so they always stopped in front of my house.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is. But now kids uh, have another way of making sure that they get something to eat. You
Uh-huh.
So, and I think that's awesome that the school system is doing that.
Right, right. So you're, a preschool teacher, and then how long were you a teacher before you started taking care of Doug?
Um, probably probably maybe 10 years.
Uh-huh.
Probably about time, maybe 8 years.
So, and you started taking care of Doug, he's what, 3 or 4?
Yeah, he was between 3 or 4.
So, tell us about Doug and what his needs are. So,
Well, Doug is my youngest grandson. Um, he has CP, cerebral palsy. He had a stroke when his mother was carrying him. Um, he is nonverbal. Um, he is legally blind. It's called cortical blindness. He has no sight out of his left eye, and what he sees out of his right eye, the doctor says it looks like you're looking through a piece of Swiss cheese.
mm,
So he only sees parts of things.
right.
He had scoliosis, and about it'd be 3 years in May. He had back surgery to straighten it, so he lost a lot of mobility that way.
Right.
He can't bend over to the right or to the left.
Right.
He can bend from the waist down, you know, forward.
Uh-huh.
He's, I know, I say he's nonverbal. He can get his point across when he wants something. Uh,
But he does know some sign language, right?
yes, he knows how to make the sign for more, sorry, please,
Heart.
heart. If he says heart, he's telling you that he loves you.
Yeah.
And he knows the sign for music. You rub your right hand over your left forearm, and he can't do that, but he rubs his shoulder. So
Yeah.
adapted that to when he wants his music on.
Yeah, he likes music a lot.
Yeah, he does. Um, he like I've had him since he was 3. When I first got him, he didn't like to be touched. He didn't want hugs or kisses or
Hmm.
that, and I told him he had to get over himself because I was his nan, and I was gonna hug him and kiss him all I wanted to. So I'm the one that taught him how to kiss and how to hug. Um, he is, when he was little, he could bunny hop. He
Yep.
wasn't always in wasn't always in a wheelchair. Uh, he didn't always have to be in a wheelchair.
Right.
He if we went out away from the house, he gets he doesn't like large crowds, even with family, even if it's just family. But
Right.
if he's down on the floor when he was little, if he was down on the floor and he got overwhelmed, he always would come and crawl underneath my skirt because I
Yep.
wore long skirts, and he would hide. And Maya, your sister, and my daughter, she said, "What is he doing? He's hiding." She said, "Well,
He's
get him up."
trying to unstimulate himself.
And I said, "No." I said he's scared, and I said, and he knows that if he's sitting on my feet and underneath my skirt, nobody's going to get him. So that's a lot of times that's where he stayed. But
I know that's when it started. He would be across the room on the floor, and I would want him to come to me, and he wouldn't come to me. And I would say, "Come give Aunt Nikki a kiss." And he would kiss me from across the room. I'm like, "I
yeah,
can't feel that."
yeah,
Until eventually, I mean, it took a long time, but eventually he would come up to me,
yeah,
and kiss me on the cheek or act like he's going to kiss me,
yeah. And then turn his head.
Yeah, and turn his head.
So
Yeah, he is a mess. So, for him, what are some of the things that he's gotten to do, like, because he goes to school,
yeah.
and they come and get him, every day. I mean, what is his day like when he's at school?
Um. Well, when he went to Crestdale, or when started out at Highland,
Hmm.
um, they would have periods of music and read stories, and then they would have lesson plans that were adapted to him for him.
Hmm.
Um, and in the room, I know I was still in school, so I did some of my practicum at Highland, and
Hmm.
I would go into his room and observe, and nobody would say anything that I was here or anything. But he knew every time I went into his room, because just as soon as I walked in and shut the door, he would turn around towards the sound and holler "Nan." So he knew me. But I mean,
You didn't even say anything.
no, I hadn't said a word, but he knew me by my smell. So, which back then I always wore lavender, so he knew that if he smelled lavender, if he smelled that scent, he knew that I wasn't too far off. But he
Yeah.
always knew. So, but I think they played a lot of games, learning games for with him,
Uh-huh.
because I know he's not going to be a rocket scientist, but he's smart. Um,
Yeah. Well, he understands a lot. I mean,
yeah,
you
yeah,
can tell him things, and I mean, explain something to him, and he knows what you're talking about.
yeah. I know.
So,
When Becky cuts his hair and gives him a shave, um, I called to see if they had, manscaped him, and she said no. She said we didn't, and he was laughing, and they were in the front room, and he was laughing in the bedroom because he didn't get manscaped. I know. So, but it's
he's
like,
a
haha,
mess.
you're not going to do that to me now. So, but
so,
he's
so, I mean, they have things at Highland and at, you said Crestel.
mhm.
So now that he's at the high school, is it the same type of things that they're doing, or is it a little more advanced, or?
I think it's basically on the same level, but more so because Doug has learned more. He says more sounds
Mhm.
to sound out words.
Mhm.
A lot of his math is they teach him math through music, which is one of his favorite classes.
Mhm.
And he still likes to read. Um, he has a parrot that's with him all the time. She,
Mhm.
she's there. He only goes to school 2 days a week, one week, and then 3 days a week the next. So
Because of the
because of,
pandemic.
yeah, so and since since he has gotten bigger and gotten older, um, he gets tired easier. And I don't know if it's because his body is just bigger than um, than what he's used to.
Mhm.
But he loves going to school. He loves the
Yeah.
interaction with with the other students.
Mhm.
But they play ball. They with him. They play games. In the kitchen, they help him. Um, uh, they helped him make a smoothie, which he thought was really neat because they had a button on his chair that if he pushed, it made the mixture go.
the oh.
So, and he thought that was just great. And he has days that he has physical therapy,
Yeah.
and then they get him in a stander so that he stands. Um,
And
for
does
15
I
minutes.
mean he likes to stand, right?
Yeah, yeah, he does. But I can always tell
When
when
he's
when, when he's been in the stander because he's just exhausted, and the only thing he doesn't even want to shower, and he loves these showers. He just wants to go
yeah,
to
right.
bed. So
Right. So so what do you think, Doug is graduating this year
yeah,
and looking back, from the time you got him until now, what would you think is um the best thing that you've learned from taking care of someone with those types of, special needs? So, I mean, he's a special kid anyway.
yeah,
He's funny and he melts your heart and
he is rotten. I can't I can't really say because I mean
well,
I'm
how has that helped you as a person? You know.
to be more accepting of everybody, knowing that I don't know what's happened in anybody's life,
Yeah.
and to make them the way they are. So
Right.
it's been to help me to be more accepting of people that even if I don't know what has happened in their life.
Right. Or
So
someone that may look normal, to
yeah,
be
you know
more open-minded about something.
depression and and anxieties, those are you never know those, you know you don't know
Mhm.
who has those. So
Right.
and it's I don't like to think that I hope I don't hurt anybody's feelings because I'm not aware, or if I say
Mhm.
something that
Right.
that's going to hurt their feelings, and
Right.
I don't want to do that. So
Yeah.
I'm always super always to be super vigilant.
Aware.
I don't
Mhm.
that I don't say or hurt somebody's feelings.
Yeah. So changing the topic just a little bit. So I know my brother's been staying with you, and he's been to prison.
Yeah.
So, what being a mom and having your child, incarcerated. I mean, how did that make you feel? Or did it? I mean, I know it bothered you, but I mean, how did you deal with that?
Cried a lot.
Well, don't start crying now.
Uh,
I just kind of wanted to touch base with it because I mean I know it's a big struggle, and I know there are other people out there that have loved ones that are,
yeah.
incarcerated. I mean, it's like how do you cope with that? You know, to me it's like I got to help him right now. Like I'm writing him letters, telling him what to do, bossing him around, and
Well, that's your
I
go,
mean,
Dick.
huh?
I said that's always been your go-to.
I know, but it
It's,
doesn't work all the time, and I keep
no,
doing it.
I know.
Just do what I say, and
It'll
everything
be
will be
okay.
okay.
Well, I mean, a lot of times, you know, I thought, well, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I wasn't, the best mother, or uh,
No, I don't think that was it, Mom.
well, in my head, that's what I was thinking, though.
Right.
But you know, in the end, it had to do with him wanting to change,
Yeah.
and this last time since he's been out, he has taken steps to change.
Yeah.
He met a special girl. They they've known each other for a long time.
Uh-huh.
She was married to somebody, somebody that he knew, when he was younger, and,
Mhm.
and he had just gotten out of prison, and I don't know if they ran across each other on the street or on Facebook, but
Uh-huh.
they kind of clicked, and they've been together since September, I think. So, and
So do you just think did staying in contact with him when he was gone help a lot, you
yeah,
know? I mean,
yeah,
because I know now it's different. You can do phone calls, you can do video
yeah.
visitations, and electronic. You can do email. So
It was easy. It never was easy to see
yeah,
him in that setting, but knowing that I could get a hold of him easier and see his
yeah,
face more was easier than the first time that he went in, because the first time I don't think there was any phone calls. It was mostly letters that you had to write, no
yeah.
emails or anything like that.
How old was he? 12 or 13 or
When he first started getting in trouble, yeah, he's about 12 or 13.
yeah, because he was. Yeah, I remember because he said every Thursday they had liver. You're like, they have liver in the spaghetti.
They were trying to hide it.
Yeah. So, there was one other thing I wanted to ask. Um, well, it just left my head. I can't remember now. So it was about Doug. Oh, so you've got Natasha and Becky that comes in, and what do they do to help you with Doug?
Um, well, when he first got on, the Medicaid waivers, I was thinking, man, I don't want anybody in my house. And but they started coming. They didn't know each other. They worked for the same company, but they had never met. But
Mm-hmm.
they come in. They give him his shower, his bath. They do his laundry. They feed him. At first, they would come when he got out of school.
Mhm.
At then it was at 4. So, but they would come in and get his supper ready, and do his laundry. They made sure that his bed was clean. They'd put his laundry up. Um, they'd take him for walks,
Mhm.
neighborhood. Um, they have been a blessing because it's been almost 5 years.
Yeah.
It'd be 5 years in April, I think, next month.
Mhm. He calls them girls, right?
Yeah,
His girls.
yeah. Well, if he wants both of them, he hollers for girls. Sometimes he holler for Tata, and sometimes he holler for BB. Uh, Tasha, he treats Tasha like a sister because he picks
Mhm.
a lot. Uh, and people look at her because she'll say, "Well, I gotta go. I gotta go uh, argue with my nonverbal client," and they'll look at her like crazy. And she said, "Did we argue?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they do. So, um, but and BB, she's the only one that if she's not here, he will eat for Tasha. But if BB's here, Becky's here, he's not eating for Tasha. He's not eating for me. He's not eating for Wes or Mandy. BB has to feed him.
And he only lets people feed him that he really trusts, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Because I knew when he was younger, that was an issue that we ran into when one of us was taking care of him,
He wouldn't eat.
whether or not we could get him to eat, you
Yeah,
know.
a lot of times he wouldn't eat, and I know
Yeah.
at school they couldn't get him to eat.
Mhm.
And but Emily's been with him since the ninth grade, so he eats really well at school for the last
Mhm.
because he knows Emily, um,
Yeah.
and he knows Emily. He trusts Emily.
So being at the high school, this just popped in my head real quick. And he's got his own para, and I mean, is he like completely isolated from all the other kids, or is there times when they're going through the hallways and there's other kids around, or
Well, since they did the you know hybrid where
yeah.
they go X amount of days, there's not as many students. So, to my way of thinking, when I talk to Marcia, which is his teacher, uh,
Mhm.
his main teacher, she makes sure that the other teachers do what's on his IEP plan. Uh,
Right.
he is secluded within 2 rooms,
Mhm.
you know, and I think the teachers go to those rooms.
Oh, so the teachers are the ones moving around.
I think I'm not for sure.
Okay.
There's not he's not you know I know sometimes they still take him out, you know shopping and stuff, but
Uh-huh.
I told them that I signed paper, I didn't want Doug to go
Right.
because I just didn't want him because he can't tell me if he's sick. He can't tell me if his head hurts, or well,
Yeah. Or if he got scared
yeah.
or something happened,
uh,
So,
I just and with the pandemic, I just didn't want him to be exposed any more than he needed to be.
mhm. Right.
So,
Right. So with so what do you think he's gotten out of the most out of his life so far, you know?
um,
I mean, if you could, I mean, we can't get in his mind, but
we'd probably be in trouble. He he is never going to know somebody to be mean to him. He's never going to know that, he's just a happy kid. He doesn't get
Yeah.
that, that he's different. Um,
Uh-uh.
that's okay for him to be different. You know,
Yeah.
everybody is the same. I know you're my daughter, and you have some of my traits, but you're totally different than even
Right.
sisters.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
I think he's a happy kid.
Yeah, I
He
think
doesn't
so too.
he doesn't live with his mom and he doesn't live with his dad. He lives with his Nan, and he knows Nan's going to take care of him. And
Yeah.
when Nan can't take care of him, he knows his Aunt Kiki's going to. Because when
Right.
I threatened to give him away the other day because he's been a rotten stinker, I said, I'm just going to give you away. And I said, who you think's going to take you? I said, and I started naming off people. And he said, when I said your name, I said, was your Aunt Kiki going to take you? And he shook his head, yeah. So he knows. I mean, he knows that, if anything does happen to me, that you will be acquiring an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old, but hopefully a 20-year-old little boy that
Mom, that's not
knows.
that far off. What did you say, 30-year-old? 40-year-old?
Well, that would be nice, but uh,
I don't know. Those Collinses, they don't know when to give it up.
that's true. True. Um,
So one last thing. So what would your advice be to someone who is actually starting out dealing with someone with a child or maybe a foster kid that is special needs? What would be some good advice to give them?
breathe, deep breath. It's going to be okay. And ask for help.
Ask for help.
Ask for help.
Wow,
Um,
who knew?
make sure that you take care of you. Um,
Yeah.
I know I've had a lot of people say, I had one friend at school. She said, "You're my hero," and I said, "Well, what for?" I said, "I've not done anything." She said, "But you took in your grandson and you didn't have to."
Yeah.
And I said, "No, I didn't have to." I said, "But he's mine." I mean, no, I didn't give birth to him. I said, "But my daughter did," and
Hmm.
said, and he's not going anywhere.
Now,
He's,
I think you taking care of him has helped keep us all together, you know, um, especially, his mom,
yeah,
because she can always come to where he is,
yeah.
and if he was someplace else, that may not have been the case.
She has easy
So,
access, and so does his dad. Um,
right. Yeah. Right.
you know, when the pandemic, happened, and Doug didn't go out, and I told him and Ninny, his stepmom, you're more than welcome to come and see him, visit him anytime you want to.
Hmm.
They would come over and sit outside the window and talk to him, until
Yeah.
they got better to where they could, come in the house. But
Yeah.
but Misty has always had, she's always been welcome,
Yeah.
come and visit him anytime, anytime she wants.
Yeah. She's pretty special. She's
Yeah,
strong. She's stronger than what she gives herself credit for.
yeah, she is.
So just being helpful, you know, uh, like you said, take care of yourself first. And I think a lot of people don't do that. Like that was the furthest thing from my mind when I was raising the boys, you know,
Yeah,
and because it was like, well, that their needs need to come first, and but then if I wasn't taking care of myself,
you couldn't take care of them.
then I wasn't strong enough to take care of them.
Yeah,
And so I could see looking back now where there was some times when that was not um, I hadn't always done that.
I have not.
So,
I've not always. I know. Uh, I don't always need a lot away from people. Alone time.
mhm,
You know, um, or to get away from the house because
mhm,
I mean, I just soon be at home.
yeah,
Um, it wasn't always that way when I was younger, but since I've gotten older, I have turned into my mother and stayed at home a lot. Um, but I like being at home, and Doug's here, with me.
mhm,
And when I go in, check on him, to see if he wants a drink or he needs changed or he's hungry. And
mhm,
and he can tell me when he's hungry. He'll tell me he wants food or whatever.
mhm.
But most of the time, if I go in and check on him, trying to talk to him, he's telling me to get out of his room.
Well, he is a teenager, so.
Lord help us, he is. If anybody said that he would be able to tell me to get out, I would not believe it. But I
Yeah,
mean, so I mean, I did get out Saturday, and I went shopping for him. Oh,
right.
but I wasn't gone maybe an hour, and I was back home. Well, I had to
Yep.
stop and get mine and take her to work too. But uh,
Okay, Mom.
I mean, but
Well, I really appreciate you letting me, do this and just give your an insight into what your life, has been like. I know it's not always been easy, and I know when I was a teenager that um I did not get along with you at all.
because we were a lot alike.
I'm like, I got to get away from this woman.
I
She's
know.
driving me nuts.
Yeah, y'all did. I mean, y'all did that.
But you said what you reap, what you sow, and I did. So,
It all
well,
come in.
I really appreciate you doing this for me. If anybody that's been on watching, if you have any comments, I haven't seen any comments come across, and so you can always. Oh, someone did, and one day at a time is what they said.
Yeah,
I don't know the Facebook username, but that's definitely something I still do is one day at a time. I mean,
yeah.
that's
I
all.
got tomorrow because it's not here yet,
Yeah, that's true.
and
So,
it doesn't matter because it's gone.
right. So if anybody has any comments for Marilyn or questions, you can ask it on the stream or just put it on my Facebook page and she'll see it and can answer. But so thanks, Mom.
Love you.
I love you too.
Bye.
Bye.